Opera is a way of telling stories in music, and it's potentially an absurd way of telling stories in music. You know, we all go to the opera and we sometimes laugh at how ridiculous it can be. But it's a very powerful and potent way of telling stories. And if you say, I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel loving toward you, that's one way of expressing your emotions. If you sing these things, it's a much bigger and more intense way of expressing your emotions. And at the end of the day, opera is about expressing emotions. As you tell the story, it's a way of telling a story with incredible directness and power and intensity. And it always makes it bigger. It's like semaphore. You know, when you stand there with flags, you're sending a message in a very big way. Opera houses are very often big places, and the people on the stage have to send a message to somebody sitting, you know, a very long way away at the back.
For me, I think opera has a great power because it invokes so many different kinds of responses from an audience and engages an audience in a staggering number of ways. And I would say only half-jokingly that the invention of instrumental music as a form that could compete with opera for an audience was almost to get away from the exhausting respite of having to respond to opera. In other words, the attractive thing about early symphonies was that there wasn't a stage, there weren't all these singers around, it was a different experience.
I mean, I just think there's good art and there's bad art. That's all, really. And there are some shows that are bad. It's called director's work now, but of course, what's not mentioned, it's the collaboration between a director, a designer, and a lighting designer. They're making the picture that you see. It's very, very collaborative form. It's no accident that many operas are now directed by designers. That's more to do with the economy of the art form, that international co-production is the order of the day, and so productions are made that are in a way foolproof, whatever the abilities of the interpretive artists, the performers, who after all should be at the center of the spectacle, I think, if you're going to believe in it. I mean, they're neutralized by large settings that can work even if you just fly in the person 2 days before. As long as they know to stand in the light, it's, you know, that the rest of the work is done by some overwhelming setting.